Buenas tardes YouTube, welcome to my channel, Better Monday Fasting. In this video I'm gonna talk about why I don't need a medical diagnostic and why I don't see doctors anymore. So I'm gonna talk about that topic. It's also a chapter of my book, For a Better Monday. You can find the link below. So the Kindle edition and the paperback edition in US English are available. So if you want to get all the information without the broken English accent and in a condensed manner, it's like 170 pages. You can read it in one sitting. So all the information is in there. Before getting started, I want to make it clear that nothing I share is medical advice, so please do your own research before taking any major health-related decisions, especially with this video, because this video is the topic is a little bit radical. I mean, it's just based on my honest opinion and experience, and that's how I go about it. But I mean, for some people it might be a little bit hard to accept such approach. So yeah, do your own research before making any health-related decisions. So why I don't need medical diagnostic anymore? And by a medical diagnostic is that, usually like with health, what happens is like, maybe you feel bad, you have something, and then you'll go to the doctor or to the hospital, and maybe they make some tests, they do a checkup, and then we know what you have, like that's you're suffering from that, and then from there we'll come with a plan to make you feel better, solve the problem. So it sounds kind of like it sounds good, but what I learned with fasting is that the way I feel, like my experience is that the body knows what it needs. Like the body has its to-do list, and the body knows what's wrong better than any doctor. So my approach is that the body knows better than me, and the body knows better than the doctor, and also the body knows how to heal. So with that in mind, we can bypass the entire like a doctor pharmaceutical industry for the most part. There are exceptions, of course, but so I came to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's not an emergency, it doesn't really matter that I know what I have. I have high blood pressure, and I have this, and I have, I'm missing some iron, and who cares? Like, it's just solve the problem instead of like to have that information. It's useless, like, to me, unless it's an emergency. So my approach is more like, okay, the body knows better what's up, and the body knows how to heal. So why don't I just focus on giving my body time to heal itself? So why, instead of paying hundreds of dollars to go to the doctor, and then hundreds of dollars in medicine, and trying to figure things out, just like the body knows. So just I rather give like fasting days to my body, and the body does it has its priority list, and it will go through. Of course, I mean, this works when, like, if we're ahead of the game, you know, if we're not in a super bad shape and we're ahead of the game, then it will work fine. Then if it's an emergency situation, it's different, of course. And also, like, I don't want to diss like modern medicine like completely. I think for emergency situations, for example, imagine like a bee stinging you and you cannot breathe. Like, yeah, I mean, they do a cortisone shot. Like, that makes sense. Uh, or your heart stops, you know, like they reanimate you. That makes sense. You have a broken limb, like, uh, you know, they fix you. I mean, for everything that is mechanical or emergency, uh, I'm all for modern medicine. But for everything else, um, yeah, I mean, I stopped seeing doctors, and I don't care like what's going. Like, you know, I rather, you know, make fasting a habit, and then my body is taking care of it, you know, and learn how to listen to my body. So even the if I'm missing a mineral or something, that it will communicate to me like, oh, you know, like eat oysters or eat some red meat or like eat some, you know, like farm raised, how you call that? Like, yeah, like eggs from a farm raised chicken, like free range, things like that. Like, so that's been my approach. And so, like, the last time I went to a doctor, it was a dentist, and it was like, it was more than a couple years ago. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I needed like a root canal. It's the most like difficult one. I was in Puerto Vallarta and I met this great dentist guy, like amazing. I think he's really good, like, and so he did an amazing job. And once I went to the doctor, and he was like, I was in Oaxaca. I was in 2019, and I started getting at night like skin reactions, you know, like it will be like it will wake me up and I'll see my skin like with pimples, like a skin reaction, and it will happen at night. So like first I thought it was like bed bugs, you know. So I started like, you know, disinfecting everything, and like I bought some insecticides and stuff, like. But I will get that like. So then I was just like, oh, if I fast, it'll probably go away. So I start fasting and stuff, but nothing to do. Like, I will get all these like reactions. So then I decided like, and I was like convinced that it was like bugs, you know. And I had ordered through Amazon like a gear for music, to record music, and it came in a, you know, on a cardboard, and I took it inside. So I was just like, wow, maybe some bugs came from. So I was really convinced of that, and it started getting really bad. Like I was like, I'll get like those rashes. So I decided to rent for one night. I rented like another Airbnb, or for a couple nights, in Oaxaca. And I said, well, at night I'm gonna go sleep there. So I came to the Airbnb and I had a plastic bag. So I took all my clothes off, put into the plastic bag, you know, closed the plastic bag, and I went to bed like naked, you know. And I didn't bring any of my stuff, like no belongings. So I was really close by where it was like a couple blocks. And at night I got the reactions again, you know, like I was just like, what is this? Like, so like I could not figure it out. Like, then I went to Mexico City, like I had concerts over there, and you know, I played shows and stuff, and it was really difficult. And at night I will get them again. So So then I'm like, I hope I'm not bringing like the bed bugs with me, you know, like. But nowhere I will go. Like then I'll ask them, like, everything's okay. I mean, nobody was complaining, you know. I was just like, oh my god, what's going on? And it will start getting like pimples will get bigger and bigger, and they will like leave like some scars, you know. So then I went to Querétaro. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to. They had a washing machine, like the place where I rent. So I was just like, I'm gonna wash everything I can wash, and everything that is like metal, like music gear, I'm gonna pass it like with alcohol before entering the room, you know. So it was really good because they had the washing machine on site. So even before entering the room, I washed everything. And I washed everything, and I even put some of my belongings in like zipper bags and everything. Like, so I entered the place, and at night, again, I'm having those rashes. Like, so like I'm like, so I start looking. You know, I start looking. I mean, there was some. I started looking like under the bed and the thing, and there were some like things that could be like related to bed bugs. So I told the owner, you know, I was like, I'm having this problem, so I don't know if I brought them with me or if, you know, the bed bugs they were here, but please take a look, you know. So they called the person, like an expert, and they looked and they're like, no, there's no bed bugs. But I'm having all these like reactions, you know, like then I threw away. That's the most sad part. Like I threw away I had a really nice backpack. I threw away I had tons of Black Sea Storm stickers, and like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw away everything. And I threw away everything, like all the, yeah, it's really sad. And I think that was before we called I was just like, you know what, like there's, oh yeah, I also find like in one of the the backpacks, I found like in one of the pockets, I found some eggs and like worms, you know, like would die, like something. Yeah, there was some. I mean, there was like a pocket that I didn't check, and something grew in there, you know, grew and died and had eggs, and so I was just like, oh, this is maybe where it comes from, you know. So I threw, like, that was a really nice backpack. I bought it in Buenos Aires, you know, when I decided to become a nomad. And I threw, that was like such a big mistake. I so regret it right now, but like I had all the stickers I made in vinyl in the US, Black Sea Storm. I threw everything away. And then the lady renting me the place, she gave me she gave me the name of a doctor, you know. And she's like, oh, you can go. And then it got worse. Like I start having like the rashes even on my genitals and stuff. Like I was like, what is this, you know? Like, like I'm still thinking that something is biting me. So I'm like, why? I mean, why you're biting me in that area? And it was really bad because I had a girlfriend back then. So it was like it kind of make me very self-conscious, like. But she was great. Like she really didn't care. She was like, oh, you know, like she'll still sleep with me and stuff. It's like very lots of courage. Like, but like it was getting like I was getting like really big pimples. Like, so I was just like and trying to fast, like to try to solve the problem with fasting, but then it didn't work out. Like so I went to the doctor, and he was like, oh, it's either a tropical bug that bite you, or it could be from food, you know. It's like the blood poisoning. and he gave me like antibiotics, and I'm super against, but it was like kind of last resort thing. So I took for a few days the antibiotic, and it went like everything went better, like 70%. So I went back to the doctor, and he gave me another. I think it was a different brand, and I did that, and then it was all gone. And that's the last time like I used like modern medicine, and it's the last time I went to a doctor, if we don't consider that the dentist is a doctor, you know. So yeah, so like everything I'm saying, it's like you have to take it with a grain of salt, because I mean I still think like fasting can solve all the problems, but in that case I couldn't. I did everything. I did everything I could, and so I'm doing my daily grounding here. And yeah, I mean, I had to go to a doctor, and I had to use antibiotics, and so there are cases where we need to go to the doctor, and also like when we travel, it's. I mean, the first time I was in southern Mexico, I went to Yucatan. Also, I had the shits like for 2 weeks. I mean, it's when you're in environments that you've never been before. Yeah, you have to get accustomed, you know. Like so there are exceptions to what I say, but like now we're finishing off 2024, and since 2019 I didn't see a doctor, and even before that, like I wasn't seeing a doctor at all, like since 2016, you know. And I don't know before that, like when's the last time. I was getting really. I'm really skeptical with doctors. Like to me, my experience is like, more you see them, more somehow you have to see them more, you know. Unless you see them, they disappear from your life. So I don't know. Like I don't know how it works. I mean, it could be due to the fact that, well, when they give you all those like petroleum-based medicine, you know, then you have side effects and all that, and each time you enter a hospital, I mean, there's more chances that you're gonna catch something there. And also, I mean, it's an industry, you know. Like they don't, like it's not in any doctor's interest that you're 100% healthy. Then you turn into somebody like me, and they go out of business, you know. So I'm not saying purposefully they're making you sick, but it's not in their interest that you're 100% healthy. That's a fact. Like if we're all 100% healthy, I mean, we're talking about huge industries going out of business, like huge. So that's something to think about. And I see sometimes, like, you know, when they open hospitals and modern private hospitals in my country, and I mean, they see them like hotels, you know, like, oh, wait, now we need this percentage of occupancy so you want people to be sick in a way, you know, like it's like, you're not saying it like that, but it's not. I mean, being unhealthy, being sick, it's a super abnormal thing. That's how I see it. Like the norm is 100% health. That's normal. It's not a miracle. But somehow they turned everything around, and it's like, you know, like if you're 100% healthy, it's something like it's a miracle, you know. And so for all those reasons, I mean, I got to the point where I got even paranoid, you know, like in my social circles, you know, like you know, when you meet someone, hey, what do you do? And you know, they're like, oh, I'm a barista, I'm this, I'm that. When I'll meet doctors, I'll be like, okay, nice to meet you, bye. Like I didn't want to have doctors in my social circle, you know? Because sooner or later, what's gonna happen is like they're gonna find out about me fasting, and unless they are like awakened doctors, they're open-minded, they're gonna throw their ideology down my throat, you know. Oh, you know, but it's dangerous and all that bullshit, and because they have the degree and because they have the white suit, like I'll have to listen to them, you know. So that happened to me. That happened to me several times, you know, where I'll be like, you know what, you're a doctor, nice to meet you, but when it's not nice, because man, it will be better to find out what kind of doctors they are, you know. Because, for example, like you have on YouTube, you have Dr. Berg. I mean, he totally knows what's up, you know. He's a doctor, but he's having problems, you know. He's being censored. Like, as soon as you start telling the truth, you're being censored because a lot of people are. Yeah, it's like we build like that whole medical system is built on an efficient, like it's not solving problems. Like for everything that is biochemical, I mean, for everything that is mechanical, it's outstanding. I mean, that's like, they have all my respect, you know. Like for everything that is mechanical, everything that is emergency, like that part works, but everything else, I'm sorry, you know, I'm not convinced. And the thing is, like, the solution is inside. It's just the body is the best doctor, and so why not invest in the system that is going to solve you the problem, you know. And it's free. It's $0, you know. It's just free. It's just that you need to put the work in, you know. You have to put the work in and not delegate. That's our problem with our society too. Like we delegate everything. We delegate security. We delegate food. We delegate. I mean, nobody has a freaking idea like the effort that you need to produce a tomato, you know. You just go to the grocery store, it's already there, and you buy it. And that's like, and it could be a problem, you know. You know, if the system collapses, or being that dependent on everything, it's gonna be, I mean, if it's a slow collapse, like you'll adapt, but if it's sudden, then you're gonna have more than one problem at once, you know. And also, like, there's a mental aspect too, because if you're the only solution you have in your head to get better is to see a doctor and like get medicine. Well, if that's not available anymore, it's going to be very, very, like, it's going to stress you out a lot, you know. You're going to be like, oh my God, there's no, for example, if you're diabetic and they're like, there's an insulin shortage or something, it's the end, like that. You're going to see it like that, you know. Whereas if you have faith in fasting, and you've been fasting, and you know that you can have solutions that way, you have that confidence, you know. Then there are cases where, I mean, it happened to me. I mean, I shared the one case, like, where even fasting couldn't solve the problem. Maybe if I'd wait longer, but it was really not yeah, it was a bad situation to be in. Like when your skin starts reacting that way, and it's spreading around like all your skin, it's like, it's very it's kind of alarming. So yeah, there are cases where, emergency cases, where we need the modern medicine, you know? But yes, it's something to think about, to to be more autonomous with our needs, delegate less, and trust our body. You know, like that. Trust the fact that the body is intelligent, knows better than us, knows better than the doctors, and just give that. That's why, like in the back of my book, I say I stopped being like the CEO of my health. Like I stopped trying to be the CEO, and I turned myself into an angel investor. You know. So I'm more like a, you know, an angel investor that goes to the startups. You know, be like, I don't know anything about what you're doing. You know how to do it. I trust you. I give you the money. I trust your vision. I trust your, and then give me shares. You know. So I do the exact same thing. I'm like, you know what? Like human body, to my body, I'm like, you know better than me. You know better than the doctors. So I'm not gonna try to cure myself, trying to know what's wrong and what's going on. I'm just gonna give you fasting, the capital of fasting days, and you know. And once you're ahead of the game, you know. When I say ahead of the game, it's like that there's no emergency, you know. Like you're doing good, you don't have any health problems, but you keep investing in fasting. So that way, like, it allows you to be proactive. You know, you're putting in the bank, so there's nothing wrong with you, but you're fasting, so the body takes advantage of doing the tune-ups. So then you keep not having problems. Like, that's how I see it, like, because you're being proactive. You know, you're getting rid of all the bad proteins. You're cleaning your kidneys. You're re-establishing your microbiota. You keep your body fairly alkaline. So you invest, you know, in fasting and sports. You go to the sauna. You do dry brushing. You do all those like things, and the body no. So I don't need to know. I don't need to know what's wrong, because chances are nothing's gonna be wrong. You know, unless I have a blind spot. You know, maybe I do everything right, but there's a huge like cell phone antenna on the roof of my house, and I don't know about it, or the air is really polluted, or there's some radioactivity. I mean, there could be things, you know, where you do everything right, but you have a blind spot. There are some bad things happening, or you don't know maybe where you have your bed. Maybe the neighbor upstairs has, you know, all these modems and things that are like bad for you, you know, or maybe he has other like electronics that are maybe affecting your sleep, things like that. I mean, that's the yeah. I mean, we live in very difficult times for that. I mean, there's like, it seems like everything is designed in modern society to kill us. Like, that's you want to buy a bottle of water, there's microplastic. You want to buy a cleaning supply, I mean, there's all these like scents and all that. Like, it's bad. Like everything. You go to the ale where they have all the sodas and stuff. I mean, come on, like, how can you? Yeah, that's also, you know, you know, like they're capable of banning, making some substances illegal, you know. And yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan, like, I mean, there are some substances that are illegal because they're bad for you, but sugar isn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe it doesn't kill you right away, but it's, so processed sugar it's legal. But yeah, all that. It's very interesting to me. Like to me, it seems. So that's why, like, I kind of with this project, I want to work in the direction of, if we are more to wake up through fasting and having a healthier life and changing our habits and where we spend our money. I mean, I really have faith that we'll have a better society, and also for like all the restaurants, the coffee shops, and like they will be more geared towards that. They'll have keto food, and they'll be like, you know what, we don't use Teflon, or you know what, we don't use seed oils, you know what, and I'm sure like it exists, like it's more advanced in the US and stuff. Like I haven't been to the US since 2011, so I'm sure there are, like hipster neighborhoods where that's already the case, but for it to be more like mainstream, because if the public demands it, then I mean, there's nothing wrong to get pleasure by eating something sweet, but there are so many alternatives, and also you can recalibrate your palate so you get the same pleasure with less. And so if we all do the work, then we'll have a better world. And we also push businesses to use their time, investment, and effort to create things that are good for us and not things that are bad for us. And that's totally in our hands. Like that's totally we just need the numbers. We just need to do the work, be convinced, because there's no way, like right now I really don't want to eat sugar anymore. And I don't know what's going to happen when I'm going to go back to my country. I love the baklava and all that, but now it's impossible. But if there were enough people like me, they will do like different types of baklavas. Like they will do keto baklava. I don't know how you do it, but that it will push them. Like, but as long as people are just like eating sugar without questioning and all that, well, you cannot blame people to make money. So yeah, this was my video on why I don't get medical diagnostic, why I don't need it. I also give an example where, like an emergency example where I needed modern medicine. So it's not black or white, but it's been since 2016 I'm fasting. So I had this one emergency situation where I went to see a doctor, and I want to see a dentist for a root canal. Other than that, no more doctors. No more medicine, no more doctors for me. And I've never been doing that good before, even though I was younger. So yeah, so it will be really hard to convince me that I need modern medicine. So that being said, always do your own research. I'm just sharing my experience, my views, but especially with a topic like that, I mean, it's a big one. So don't believe everything I'm saying, and do your own research. And once you start experimenting for yourself, then you'll know what works for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, inshallah.